First Things Foundation is a not-for-profit organization that places America's best men and women in underdeveloped and often remote villages around the world. But for what purpose?
There are real people in the world who are needy and have names. Let's take Modibo. He's a character I knew when I lived in Mali in the Peace Corps. And he's a nice guy. But he has real needs. One of the big needs of Modibo in this little village in Mali is that they have schistosomiasis. Schistosomiasis is essentially a little microscopic snail that lives in your testicles. Sorry, fellas. And over time, they make it impossible for you to have children. Okay? That's a kind of a nasty disease. It's easily fixed. And Modibo knows about it. He would love to have that fixed. There's also malnutrition. There's a lot of things that Modibo doesn't like in his life. Another thing he doesn't like is to process the peanuts that he has. He's a peanut farmer. It takes a lot of effort to process it. He could really use a peanut grinder. Okay, and there's a lot of other things that I know about Modibo, primarily because I lived right next to him, right, for almost 3 years. And Modibo's life is real. And guess what? When Modibo looks up into the sky, into the cosmological world that is his, what he sees out there in the great international galaxy are all these organizations that seem so far away. Right? The World Bank, the IMF, USAID. He sees them, but he doesn't know how to access them. And they don't particularly interested in Modibo. What they're interested in is making big change quickly. They spend a lot of time creating plans that will improve clean water. They come up with programs that seem to work. And people spend thousands and thousands of dollars getting paid to write them. And that plan is aimed to, as they would argue, help Modibo. But they ain't never even met Modibo. Your plan becomes more important than the client. And as long as you stick to your plan, you can show that you've made a difference. And the problem is you haven't. To be effective in this world, you have to be on the ground. First Things aims to put people on the ground. And you live just like they live. And here's the key. You speak like they speak. Even to know the words isn't enough. You have to experience the words in the culture. And what I'm trying to say here is you can only do that when you immerse yourself. So if in Masimbi they do peanuts, go out, do peanuts. Cultivate your peanut fields, work with them. To be close is in some ways is to love. Now, are there times when those who you love won't be close? Sure. But it'd be very weird to cultivate love absent from one another. And here's what First Things Foundation says. When you have relationship, you have proximity, then you have the possibility for love. And if you have love, you have good projects. And the second goal is after 18 months, is to take those relationships and to write a report, a site assessment. And the site assessment will say, this guy is this way, this woman is this way, this family does this. And out of this constellation of people, in other words, out of this group of people, I've identified this man right here as potentially the best person to work with, and he wants to get a pig farm going. This is what he needs. The question is, why is this better? And the answer is because it's built on relationship, which leads to love, which leads to change. And when our volunteers, our site coordinators come back, I think we want them to be able to say this, that they had the KP effect. And so what First Things Foundation wants to do is bring folks back who have experienced a really fundamentally different kind of culture, one based on communitarian values. What's happening is a little piece of this old world has come home to our very, 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 very hectic, frantic, individualistic lives. Bring people back here and sort of re-implant or reseed our society in a way that it helps us to remember relationships.